Scrafty is always a tricky Pokemon to use for Great League, and that is mainly because of its weaknesses. Covering those weaknesses effectively will get you the best Scrafty outcome for Great League, and I believe that this team really makes the best out of it. Perhaps Toxapex could also fit as a really nice comrade for your Scrafty, but I think that Toxapex is kinda unsafe to the ground types and you do not want that at all. Having Pelipper up in front and Frostless at the back will give you extra coverage for those fighters and have a neutral coverage against the fairy types, which is pretty great. So right here I'm just gonna farm down with my Frostless the remaining HP out of that Mew. And right after we're gonna follow with a Shadow Ball on the Shadow Poliwrath. They have to respect the damage and we already have one more ready to go, which is absolutely nuts. Back to back moves from our Frostless, and now we can go in with our Scrafty, able to reach here to the Power Punch to add up more damage to our counters, which is pretty great. And right after, I believe that since they are shieldless, we can definitely farm down after we protect our Frostless. Having a high rank Frostless definitely helps on that matter, because as you can see we can survive a little bit easier those hits, and right now we can reach to the Avalanche to obliterate down the remaining HP out of the Poliwrath, and that is gonna add up as a really nice start for this video. Into the next one now, and we're having a Deoxys up in front, kind of a core breaker for our team. I'm just gonna reach here to the Weather Ball, and we managed to get the shield pretty early on this battle. So Deoxys is absolutely a very nice Pokemon for our team because of its amazing moveset. Rock Slide can always hurt our Frostless, has access to counter which can hurt our Scrafty, and also a Thunderbolt can one-shot from any HP range our Pelipper out of existence. This is looking pretty bad for us, but still we have a very good switch in with that Umbreon. So seeing the Umbreon makes me think that I have to first go for the Power Punch, and then I can easily farm down with my counters while getting out of here with a decent amount of energy and almost a double foul play, which is pretty great for the remaining HP that Deoxys is having. Back-to-back foul plays before they reach to their move, which is pretty nice, and right after I will try to snipe it down with my Pelipper. Doing so, we can get rid of the Deoxys while they still had energy, and now we can start going for some cheap damage on the Dugong. So Hurricane here is gonna connect for about 50% of the total HP that Dugong is currently having, and one more Weather Ball for even more cheap damage before going down. Of course, at this point we can easily farm down with the counters, and since we have a healthy Frostless at the back, this is gonna add up into a solid win. So right now we're having a Whiskas here, and I think that this is kinda tricky because if they can land that Blizzard, things can go sideways pretty fast. So they decide to go for the bait first, which is pretty great for me. And right after I will respond with a big Hurricane. They are gonna take it, which means here that they are definitely gonna get to the Blizzard now, and we have to get ahead right on time. So by blocking the Blizzard here, we can guarantee that we both are on the even shield scenario, and also we can have 3 healthy Pokemon while they have 2, and seeing that Bastiodon going in makes me think that I cannot protect my Pelipper at all furthermore, which means that my Frostless is kinda weak to this Pokemon, and by letting my Pelipper go down, my Scrafty will be perfectly aligned with this Bastiodon, and we can have the upper hand overall. So down goes a really nice chunk out of this Bastiodon with all those back to back Weather Balls, and right after we can get to the final Pokemon, which is the Medicham. We have a Ghost type, so you can do the math on your own, and yeah, Frostless is just gonna dominate this battle for sure. So Shadow Ball here is just gonna add up more damage on their side and more pressure, so they're just gonna take it, and that's gonna be a great game for our team. Into the next one now. And we're having this Lantern. So Lantern is definitely a bad one for our Pelipper on the switch, so hopefully we can align it correctly and perfectly with our Scrafty. So if we can block here the Thunderbolt, which we do, this is absolutely wonderful. Now we can get to the foul play to snipe this Pokemon down. Perhaps they're thinking they can survive, but we are not gonna let them anyways because we have already vamped up our attack stat with the first Power Punch. So foul play here is still gonna do a decent amount to the Medicham they want to block. Well, it is gonna do more than a Weather Ball, I guess. So anyways, Weather Ball now coming in, they can take it, and right after I will not spend the shield at all. I will keep it for my Frostlass for the end game, as it seems, since my Scrafty has already been revealed to my opponent. So with Weather Ball here dealing a lot of damage on their side, I can definitely take out this Medicham and still reach to a one more Weather Ball to the Stunfisk. To be honest, I was hoping that I can get to the Weather Ball, but I did not see it coming, but still it happened, surviving with 1 HP right on the edge here, passing through that final matchup, but still weaken pressure for that finishing blow with the Weather Ball, which means that their final shield is out of play, and now by reaching to the Shadow Ball we can guarantee more than enough damage for that Stunfisk, and that's gonna be a great game for our side. Into the next one now, and we're having the Pelipper on the mirror. You know what, how I play this is to always charge up to the Hurricane and then bait for the Weather Ball. We're gonna do exactly that, but my opponent here has the Deoxys, and that is looking pretty good for them. So right here I'm just gonna overfarm a lot at the point that I have 100 energy for sure, and right after we're having the return of our Frostlass once again into Great League. So yeah, Avalanche here is just gonna connect for big damage. I knew they had a lot of energy, I had to spend it as soon as possible before they reach to a Psycho Boost or whatever, and right after we can easily go down to that Pelipper. Gonna go in now with my own Pelipper and going straight for the bait, thinking that we might go for straight Hurricane, but still we know better. Right after we're gonna respond the Hurricane, and since they have a Swampert at the back, we have definitely outplayed our opponents. So against Sandslash here, this is obviously a very bad lead, because not only our Pelipper is gonna lose to it, but also we have a Pokemon weak to it at the back on the face of Frostlass. I know that we still have a counter user and perhaps the best answer against this Sandslash with our Scrafty, but still we cannot throw it in there yet, hoping that they are gonna switch out at some point, and here is the switch on that Azumarill. So we have a lot of energy stored up on our Pelipper, and on the plus side here we have avoided that bad battle with our Frostlass facing that Sandslash. So right here we can answer back at them with some heavy hitting Shadow Balls. Now we both have 2 shields into play, which is pretty tricky for both ends, but I guess now that we can have the upper hand with those counters and our Scrafty. So after that I'm expecting the switch at some point, but they decide to sacrifice it anyways. At the back there is gonna be a Cresselia, and guess what, trainers, we're having those foul plays which can just dominate this battle. Another foul play is imminent, but still first we need to respect the damage from a Moonblast. However, they decide to go here for the Grass Knot, which is a pretty good bait, and this is their only chance at winning. So yeah, let's see how this is gonna unfold, because I'm trying to catch one move on the Pelipper. I'm not sure if I caught the move here, but still they sacrificed a little bit of energy. I could easily press for sure the Weather Ball, but I did not for some weird reason. Anyways, we still have now the double foul play, which is imminent on their side. They are gonna call the bait, they are not gonna be successful, and that's gonna be a great game to end this battle. Into the next one, and the final one, to be honest. So we're having a Shadow version of Sableye. They managed to catch on the Azumarill, pretty great catch here by my opponent, and now I'm gonna switch out to that Frostlass. So as it seems, we're gonna stay in here for a long time, because they're getting to the play rough and we can survive those bubbles by a lot. So Shadow Ball here once again. Gonna connect for about a half, but still we can do one more to finish them off anytime, and I was trying to pressure for that CMP no matter what, so I'm expecting the Sableye to go ahead and farm it down, but hopefully they cannot farm a lot of HP, because those Shadow Claws are gonna connect for so much damage on my Pokemon. So knowing here that my only hope is to keep the shields for the Scrafty, I'm just gonna go in now in there with my Scrafty, and since Azumarill is out of the way, perhaps I do not have another counter for my Pokemon. So able to reach here to the foul play. What is there at the back, trainers? And it is a Stunfisk, so we're gonna take a solid victory to end this video. So that is gonna be all, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, and of course please consider subscribing to my channel if you are new to my content. And speaking of my content, I have 2 videos for you to check out, so feel free to do so, and I will see you all into the next one.